When you look at someone else's life, achievements, or journey, it's easy to think, why can't I be more like them? But here's the truth. Every time you compare yourself to someone else, you give away a little piece of your own power. It's like taking the most precious parts of who you are and discounting them because they don't look or feel like someone else's version of success. You weren't meant to live someone else's life. You weren't designed to think, act, or create like anyone else. The wisdom you carry, the unique way you see and interpret the world, is something no one else can replicate. It's your crown, your kingdom, your truth. And it's not just enough, it's everything. The thing about comparison is that it tricks you into believing someone else's journey is the blueprint for your own. But no one's path is the same. Every step you take, every challenge you face, and every victory you celebrate is shaping a story that only you can tell. And that story matters. Comparison erodes self-worth and disconnects you from your unique gifts. This simple yet profound idea speaks to the heart of one of humanity's most enduring struggles, the tendency to measure our worth by stacking it against others. It's natural to observe those around us, to notice their achievements, talents, and possessions. However, when this observation shifts into comparison, it often brings feelings of inadequacy, envy, and disconnection from our own sense of value. At the core of comparison lies a false narrative, the belief that life is a zero-sum game where someone else's success diminishes our own. It convinces us that their beauty, intelligence, or accomplishments somehow highlight our perceived lack. But this couldn't be further from the truth. The world is not a limited space where only a select few can shine. It's an expansive, abundant place where every individual has their own unique role to play and their own light to contribute. When we compare, we lose sight of this abundance. We become so focused on others' strengths that we overlook our own. When we become, comparison erodes self-worth because it shifts the focus away from who we are and places it squarely on who we think we should be. Instead of appreciating our individuality, we start to chase an ideal that isn't authentic to us. This disconnect from our true selves creates a cycle of self-doubt. We question our abilities, downplay our achievements, and even disregard the things that make us unique. The irony is that the very traits we envy in others often come from their authenticity, something we can only achieve by embracing our own unique gifts. A painful lesson to learn, but it can also be a painful lesson to recognize that we have views and strengths inside of us. The act of comparison often distorts reality. Social media, for instance, is a fertile ground for this distortion. We see curated versions of people's lives, the highlights, the successes, the polished moments. Rarely do we see the struggles, the failures, or the mundane aspects that make up the entirety of their experiences. Yet we compare our behind-the-scenes struggles to their highlight reels, forgetting that every individual has their own challenges. This skewed perspective not only diminishes our self-worth, but also creates unnecessary pressure to live up to unrealistic standards. Moreover, comparison disconnects us from our unique gifts by shifting our focus outward instead of inward. When we are constantly looking at others, we neglect the time and energy needed to explore and nurture our own talents and passions. Each person is born with a unique combination of strengths, experiences, and perspectives. These are our gifts, the qualities that allow us to contribute something special to the world. But if we're too busy measuring ourselves against others, we might never discover or fully embrace these gifts. Instead of becoming the best version of ourselves, we risk becoming pale imitations of someone else. There is also a deeper, more insidious impact of comparison. It creates disconnection, not just from ourselves, but also from others. Instead of celebrating someone else's success, comparison breeds resentment. It turns potential allies and sources of inspiration into competitors. This mindset isolates us, making it harder to build meaningful relationships or to learn from those around us. Instead of lifting each other up, we tear each other down, and in doing so, we tear ourselves down as well. To break free from the cycle of comparison, we must first recognize it for what it is, a distraction from our own growth and happiness. Every moment spent comparing ourselves to someone else is a moment not spent appreciating who we are, what we have, and what we're capable of becoming. It's important to remember that self-worth isn't something that comes from external validation. It comes from within, from a deep understanding and acceptance of who we are. This requires us to look inward, to explore our passions, to celebrate our strengths, and to acknowledge our flaws without judgment. Building self-worth also means shifting our mindset from scarcity to abundance. Instead of seeing someone else's success as a threat, we can choose to see it as proof of what's possible. Their achievements don't diminish ours. They can inspire us to strive for our own version of success. By celebrating others' accomplishments, we create a positive, supportive environment where everyone has the opportunity to thrive. This shift in perspective not only strengthens our self-worth, but also fosters deeper connections with those around us. Another way to combat the effects of comparison is to practice gratitude. When we focus on what we have instead of what we lack, we begin to see the richness of our own lives. Gratitude reminds us of our unique gifts and the progress we've made. It helps us appreciate the journey we're on, rather than fixating on the destination or how our path compares to someone else's. Gratitude also shifts our attention away from external measures of success, grounding us in the present moment and the things that truly matter. It's also important to set boundaries, particularly in environments that fuel comparison. This might mean limiting time on social media or being mindful of the content we consume. Surrounding ourselves with positive influences, people who uplift us, environments that encourage growth, and activities that align with our values can help us stay connected to our own worth. When we focus on our own journey and surround ourselves with supportive communities, we create the space to grow authentically and confidently. Finally, embracing self-compassion is essential. We are all imperfect, and that's okay. Instead of criticizing ourselves for not measuring up to others, we can choose to treat ourselves with kindness. Self-compassion allows us to acknowledge our struggles and mistakes without letting them define us. It helps us see that our worth isn't tied to what we achieve or how we compare to others, but to the simple fact that we are human, worthy of love and respect just as we are. Comparison erodes self-worth and disconnects us from our unique gifts, but it doesn't have to. By shifting our focus inward, practicing gratitude, celebrating others, and embracing self-compassion, we can reclaim our sense of value and reconnect with the gifts that make us who we are. We don't need to be like anyone else, because who we are is already enough. The journey to self-worth isn't about looking outward. It's about looking inward and discovering the beauty and strength that have been within us all along. Embracing your individuality is the foundation of true wisdom and strength. This idea challenges us to confront one of the most fundamental truths about human existence. No two individuals are exactly alike. Each person carries a distinct set of experiences, perspectives, and talents, all of which shape their identity. Yet despite this uniqueness, many people spend their lives trying to conform, comparing themselves to others, or seeking external validation. The power of embracing individuality lies in recognizing that our differences are not weaknesses to be overcome, but strengths to be celebrated. The power of individuality lies in recognizing that our differences are not strengths to be celebrated. From the moment we are born, society often encourages conformity. We are taught to follow norms, meet expectations, and fit into predefined molds. While some of this is necessary for social cohesion, it can also lead us to suppress parts of ourselves that don't align with those norms. Over time, we may start to view these differences as flaws, things to be hidden or corrected. But the truth is, these so-called flaws are often the very traits that make us unique. When we embrace our individuality, we reclaim the parts of ourselves that we may have neglected or dismissed. We begin to see our uniqueness not as something to hide, but as the essence of who we are. Embracing individuality is not just about self-acceptance. It is also a profound act of courage. In a world that often rewards conformity, choosing to stand out requires strength. It means being willing to be misunderstood, judged, or even criticized. But it also means living authentically and unapologetically. When we embrace our individuality, we give ourselves permission to be fully present in our lives, free from the constraints of others' expectations. This authenticity is a powerful source of wisdom and strength because it allows us to navigate life with clarity and purpose. True wisdom comes from understanding and accepting who we are. It's the ability to see ourselves honestly, without the distortions of comparison or judgment. When we embrace our individuality, we develop a deeper connection to ourselves. We begin to understand our values, passions, and goals on a level that goes beyond surface-level desires. This self-awareness is the foundation of wisdom because it enables us to make decisions that align with our true selves. It helps us distinguish between what is truly important and what is merely a distraction. True strength, too, is rooted in individuality. When we embrace who we are, we tap into a wellspring of inner resilience. We become less dependent on external validation because our sense of worth comes from within. This internal strength allows us to face challenges with confidence, knowing that we are capable and deserving. It also enables us to stand firm in our beliefs and values, even in the face of opposition. Embracing individuality is not about being unyielding or inflexible. It is about being anchored in a deep understanding of ourselves, which gives us the ability to adapt and grow without losing sight of who we are. One of the most beautiful aspects of embracing individuality is the freedom it brings. When we stop trying to fit into someone else's idea of who we should be, we free ourselves from the burden of comparison and judgment. This freedom allows us to explore our passions, express our creativity, and pursue our goals without fear of failure or rejection. It also opens the door to deeper, more meaningful connections with others. When we are authentic, we attract people who appreciate us for who we truly are, rather than for the image we project. These genuine connections enrich our lives and provide a sense of belonging that cannot be found in superficial relationships. Embracing individuality also has a ripple effect on the world around us. When we live authentically, we inspire others to do the same. Our courage becomes a beacon, showing others that it is possible to be true to oneself and thrive. This creates a culture of acceptance and celebration, where diversity is seen as a strength rather than a threat. By embracing our individuality, we contribute to a more inclusive and compassionate society, where everyone is encouraged to bring their unique gifts to the table. However, embracing individuality is not always easy. It requires us to confront our fears and insecurities, to let go of the need for approval, and to embrace vulnerability. It also requires us to challenge the narratives that society has imposed on us, to question the messages that tell us we need to be different to be worthy. This process can be uncomfortable, but it is also deeply rewarding. Each step we take toward embracing our individuality brings us closer to a life that is authentic, fulfilling, and aligned with our true selves. One of the challenges of embracing individuality is the fear of standing out. In a culture that often values conformity, Being different can feel risky. We may worry about being judged, rejected, or misunderstood. But it is important to remember that standing out is not a sign of failure. It is a sign of courage. It means that we are living authentically, that we are not afraid to be seen for who we truly are. And while it may feel uncomfortable at times, it is also incredibly empowering. Each time we choose authenticity over conformity, we strengthen our connection to ourselves and to the values that matter most. Another challenge is the tendency to compare ourselves to others. When we focus on what others have or how they live, it is easy to feel inadequate. But comparison is a distraction from our own journey. It shifts our attention away from our unique gifts and toward a standard that is not our own. To embrace individuality, we must learn to appreciate our own strengths and achievements, to celebrate what makes us different rather than trying to fit into someone else's mold. This requires us to practice self-compassion, to treat ourselves with kindness and understanding, even when we fall short of our own expectations. Essentially, we can choose to resist temptations whenever they occur. Embracing individuality also involves taking risks. It means being willing to try new things, to explore our passions, and to step outside of our comfort zones. It means being willing to fail and to learn from those failures. But these risks are worth taking because they lead to growth and discovery. Each time we take a step toward authenticity, we learn more about ourselves and what we are capable of. We also build resilience, the ability to bounce back from setbacks and continue moving forward. This resilience is a key part of the strength that comes from embracing individuality. Ultimately, embracing individuality is about honoring the unique person that we are. It is about recognizing that our differences are not something to be ashamed of, but something to be celebrated. It is about understanding that our individuality is a gift, one that allows us to contribute something special to the world. And it is about living authentically with courage, wisdom, and strength. When we embrace our individuality, we become the authors of our own stories. We take ownership of our lives, our choices, and our paths. We stop letting others define who we are or what we should be. Instead, we define ourselves on our own terms. This is the foundation of true wisdom and strength. It is the foundation of a life that is meaningful, fulfilling, and uniquely our own. Authenticity is your superpower. No one else can bring your perspective to the world. This statement captures the profound truth that living authentically is one of the most courageous and impactful things you can do. In a world where people often feel pressured to conform, authenticity becomes a rare and transformative force. It's not just a personal virtue. It's a way of being that shapes relationships, fosters creativity, and leaves a lasting imprint on the world around you. At its core, authenticity means being true to yourself, embracing your values, feelings, and beliefs without trying to fit into someone else's expectations or societal norms. It's about stripping away the masks we wear to blend in or gain approval and standing firmly in the truth of who we are. This might sound simple, but in practice, it's one of the most challenging and rewarding journeys a person can undertake. Being authentic requires vulnerability, self-awareness, and the courage to embrace imperfections. When we live authentically, we operate from a place of integrity. Our words, actions, and intentions align, creating a sense of harmony within ourselves. This internal alignment is powerful because it allows us to act with confidence and clarity. We're no longer weighed down by the need to pretend or perform. Instead, we can focus our energy on what truly matters to us, whether that's pursuing our passions, building meaningful relationships, or making a difference in the world. So, authenticity is liberating because it frees us from the exhausting task of trying to be something we're not. Authenticity is also a key to building trust and connection with others. People are drawn to those who are genuine because authenticity creates a sense of safety and relatability. When we show up as our true selves, we invite others to do the same. This creates deeper, more meaningful connections because those relationships are based on honesty and mutual respect rather than pretense or superficiality. Authenticity fosters an environment where vulnerability is welcomed and appreciated, leading to stronger bonds and greater understanding. Living authentically doesn't mean being perfect or having all the answers. In fact, it often means acknowledging our flaws, doubts, and struggles. This willingness to be vulnerable is what makes authenticity so powerful. It reminds us and others that being human means being imperfect. When we embrace our imperfections, we give others permission to do the same. This creates a ripple effect, inspiring those around us to show up as their true selves, free from the fear of judgment or rejection. One of the most transformative aspects of authenticity is the unique perspective it allows us to bring to the world. Every person's life experiences, challenges, and triumphs shape their outlook, and no two perspectives are the same. When we embrace our authenticity, we tap into this wellspring of individuality. We begin to see the value in our own voices and recognize that our stories, ideas, and contributions matter. The world doesn't need more conformity. It needs diversity of thought, creativity, and expression. Authenticity is the bridge that allows us to bring our unique perspective to the table. Standing together, this uniqueness is especially important in creative and problem-solving contexts. Whether you're an artist, entrepreneur, educator, or scientist, your authenticity fuels innovation. It's what enables you to think outside the box, challenge the status quo, and create something original. By embracing your authentic self, you open the door to new possibilities that others might not see. Your perspective, shaped by your individuality, becomes a source of strength and ingenuity. However, embracing authenticity is not without its challenges. Society often places immense pressure on individuals to conform to certain standards or ideals. These expectations can make it difficult to live authentically, especially if your true self doesn't align with those norms. It's common to fear judgment, rejection, or failure when stepping into your authenticity. But the rewards of living authentically far outweigh these risks. Each step you take toward being true to yourself strengthens your confidence and resilience, making it easier to navigate challenges and embrace opportunities. Another challenge is the fear of vulnerability. Authenticity requires us to let down our guard and reveal our true selves, including our fears and insecurities. This can feel uncomfortable, especially in a world that often celebrates perfection and success. But vulnerability is not a weakness, it's a strength. It's what allows us to connect with others on a deeper level and to experience life in a more meaningful way. When we are vulnerable, we are open to growth, learning, and transformation. This openness is an essential part of authenticity and a cornerstone of personal and relational growth. Living authentically also requires self-awareness. To be true to yourself, you must first know yourself. This involves exploring your values, passions, and beliefs, as well as confronting the fears and doubts that hold you back. Self-awareness is a continuous process, one that evolves as you grow and change. It requires honesty and reflection, as well as a willingness to challenge the narratives you've been taught about who you should be. By cultivating self-awareness, you can begin to uncover the core of who you are and embrace it fully. Another essential aspect of authenticity is setting boundaries. When you live authentically, you prioritize your values and needs, which sometimes means saying no to people, situations, or opportunities that don't align with your true self. Setting boundaries is an act of self-respect and an important way to protect your authenticity. It allows you to focus on what truly matters to you and to avoid being pulled in directions that don't serve your purpose or well-being. Authenticity is not a destination but a journey. It's a practice that requires consistent effort and intention. There will be moments when it feels easier to conform or hide parts of yourself, and that's okay. Authenticity doesn't mean being perfect or getting it right all the time. It means showing up as your true self, even when it's difficult. It's about making choices that reflect your values and embracing the journey of self-discovery, growth, and connection. The impact of authenticity extends far beyond the individual. When you live authentically, you become a role model for others. Your courage to be yourself inspires others to do the same. You create a ripple effect that encourages authenticity in your community, workplace, and relationships. This collective authenticity fosters an environment where diversity is celebrated, creativity thrives, and people feel empowered to contribute their unique gifts. Authenticity is your superpower because it enables you to live a life that is true to who you are. It allows you to navigate the world with confidence, resilience, and purpose. It fosters deeper connections, fuels creativity, and inspires others to embrace their own individuality. The world needs your perspective, your voice, and your contributions. By living authentically, you not only enrich your own life, but also make a lasting impact on those around you. No one else can bring your perspective to the world. Your authenticity is what sets you apart and makes you invaluable. Embrace it, nurture it, and let it guide you. Remember that authenticity is not about being perfect. It's about being real. It's about showing up as you are, embracing your uniqueness, and sharing your gifts with the world. This is your superpower, and it has the potential to transform your life and the lives of those around you. Your wisdom is your crown. Wear it boldly and unapologetically. This powerful statement reflects the essence of embracing and valuing your inner wisdom. The unique blend of knowledge, experience, and intuition that shapes your understanding of the world. It's an invitation to step into your power, to honor the lessons you've learned, and to trust yourself deeply. Wisdom is not something we acquire from external sources alone. It is cultivated through life's challenges, triumphs, and moments of reflection. Recognizing it as your crown means understanding its value, allowing it to guide your actions, and wearing it with pride. Golden rule number 41, the recognition that choice is made with freedom. Wisdom is a gift born from experience and reflection. Every obstacle you've faced, every choice you've made, and every lesson you've learned has contributed to the unique reservoir of insight within you. It's easy to overlook or downplay this wisdom, especially in a world that often prioritizes external achievements over internal growth. But wisdom is one of the most powerful tools you possess. It enables you to navigate life with clarity, make informed decisions, and approach challenges with resilience. It's your crown because it symbolizes your growth, strength, and the depth of your understanding. Instagram handle Poetry is no stranger to struggle. In 2009, to wear your wisdom boldly means to own your experiences and trust the insights they've provided. Life has a way of teaching us in ways that no textbook or lecture ever could. The mistakes you've made, the risks you've taken, and the obstacles you've overcome are all part of your story. They've shaped who you are and equipped you with knowledge that is uniquely yours. This doesn't mean you have all the answers or won't continue to learn, but it does mean recognizing that your perspective is valuable and that you have something meaningful to contribute. Surprise yourself. Trusting your wisdom also requires silencing the self-doubt that often creeps in. It's natural to question yourself, to wonder if you're making the right choices or if your voice truly matters. But self-doubt can be a thief of confidence and clarity. When you wear your wisdom boldly, you choose to trust yourself despite the uncertainty. You acknowledge that you may not have all the answers, but you trust your ability to adapt, learn, and grow. This trust is not about arrogance or overconfidence. It's about honoring the journey that has brought you here and the strength you've gained along the way. End of. Wearing your wisdom unapologetically means refusing to diminish or hide your insights to make others comfortable. In a world where humility is often misunderstood as downplaying oneself, it can be tempting to shrink or dismiss your knowledge. But wisdom is not something to be hidden. It's meant to be shared. It's a light that can illuminate paths not just for yourself, but also for others. P.S. By embracing your wisdom and sharing it authentically, you create opportunities for connection, growth, and impact. Your wisdom is also deeply personal. No one else has lived your life, faced your challenges, or seen the world through your eyes. This individuality makes your insights uniquely valuable. When you wear your wisdom as your crown, you celebrate this individuality. You recognize that your perspective, shaped by your experiences, is one of your greatest strengths. It allows you to contribute in ways that no one else can, whether in your relationships, your work, or your community. Your wisdom has the power to make a difference. However, wearing your wisdom boldly does not mean closing yourself off to new perspectives or becoming rigid in your beliefs. True wisdom is marked by humility and openness. It's about recognizing that while you've learned much, there is always more to learn. It's about being curious, listening to others, and being willing to evolve. Wisdom is not a fixed crown. It grows and changes as you do. By remaining open to new experiences and insights, you allow your wisdom to deepen and expand. To embrace your wisdom fully, you must also make peace with your past. Every person has moments they wish they could change or experiences they would rather forget. But even the painful or regrettable parts of your journey have contributed to your growth. They've taught you resilience, empathy, and strength. By making peace with your past, you transform it from a source of shame or regret into a foundation for wisdom. This process requires compassion, not just for others, but also for yourself. It means forgiving your mistakes, acknowledging your growth, and recognizing that every step of your journey has brought you closer to where you are today. Wisdom is also a source of empowerment. When you trust yourself and your insights, you are better equipped to face life's challenges. You approach decisions with clarity, knowing that you can rely on your inner compass. This empowerment extends beyond yourself. When you wear your wisdom boldly, you inspire others to do the same. Your confidence becomes a beacon, encouraging those around you to trust their own insights and embrace their journeys. This ripple effect of empowerment is one of the most beautiful aspects of wisdom. It not only enhances your life, but also has the potential to uplift and transform those around you. Living unapologetically in your wisdom also means embracing your values and standing firm in them. In a world that often pressures people to compromise their principles for convenience or approval, staying true to your values is an act of courage. Your wisdom helps you discern what truly matters and guides you in making choices that align with your principles. This alignment creates a sense of integrity and purpose, allowing you to move through life with confidence and peace. Wearing your wisdom as your crown is not about being infallible or immune to challenges. It's about recognizing that even in moments of doubt or difficulty, your wisdom remains a source of strength. It's about trusting that you have the tools and resilience to navigate whatever comes your way. This mindset shifts your perspective on challenges. Instead of seeing them as insurmountable obstacles, you view them as opportunities for growth and learning. This doesn't make challenges easy, but it does make them meaningful. Your wisdom also serves as a bridge between you and others. When you share your insights, you create connections and foster understanding. Wisdom is not about holding knowledge for yourself. It's about using it to contribute to the greater good. Whether it's offering guidance, providing support, or simply listening with empathy, your wisdom has the power to impact others in profound ways. By sharing it unapologetically, you create a legacy of growth, connection, and transformation. Ultimately, your wisdom is a testament to your journey. It's a reflection of the lessons you've learned, the growth you've experienced, and the person you've become. Wearing it boldly and unapologetically means honoring that journey and recognizing your value. It's about stepping into your power, trusting yourself, and sharing your unique gifts with the world. Your wisdom is your crown, a symbol of your resilience, insight, and authenticity. Wear it with pride and let it guide you in creating a life that is true to who you are. In conclusion, your wisdom is a crown that reflects the depth of your journey, the resilience you've built, and the unique insights you carry. It is a symbol of your authenticity, courage, and growth, a testament to the life you've lived and the lessons you've learned. Wearing this crown boldly and unapologetically means embracing your individuality, trusting your inner voice, and honoring your experiences as invaluable assets. This is not about perfection or infallibility. It's about authenticity and self-trust. It's about knowing that even in moments of doubt or difficulty, your wisdom serves as a guiding light. It empowers you to navigate challenges, make meaningful contributions, and inspire others to embrace their own journeys with courage and conviction. By recognizing and valuing your wisdom, you step into a space of self-respect and purpose. You become a source of strength, not only for yourself, but also for those around you. Your wisdom, when worn with pride, creates a ripple effect of empowerment, authenticity, and connection. So wear your crown proudly and let it remind you of the power within you. Trust that your unique perspective and experiences are gifts, and let them guide you as you continue to grow, thrive, and contribute to the world. Your wisdom is your crown. Wear it with confidence, grace, and the unwavering knowledge that it is uniquely and beautifully yours.